Hi, everybody, and welcome to team training for the Oklahoma Housing Needs Assessment. This lesson is about presenting data using ArcMap. The way it works in our prototype model flowchart, it's sort of at the end of the process after we have done our analysis and data processing. We want to export a map, and we might export static maps or interactive web maps. This lesson's about the static maps primarily, but a lot of the graphic design cartography principles and some of the tools we use are similar for both interactive and web maps. So let's go ahead and get started. And I'm going to switch over to ArcMap. And for this example, I'm using some data from GTK ArcGIS, chapter 18. This is a map, as you can see, of Asia. It was made with a template file. So when you start a new map, you can start with a blank map, or you can choose a template. And we used a template from Asia, and we zoomed in here on the Philippines because for this example, we want to add XY data about a typhoon that passed close to the Philippines. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you how to add data and map it using latitude and longitude, right? So that we can use XY data. Take the latitude and longitude and convert it to XY data in a projected view like this. And this is very useful because we often get data, that has been located using GPS coordinates or something like that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit my add data button, and I'm in, it's already defaulted to that, but I'm in GTK ArcGIS chapter 18 data folder. And I'm going to add this lat-long etang.txt file. And this file, you'll notice is a very simple ASCII text file, which is another file that is compatible with ArcGIS. And there I added it, and you can see it's in the table of contents. If I right-click it here, I'm going to open it up, and you'll see that it's a table of data. It starts out with the latitude and longitude. These are fixes of where the center of the typhoon was, the date and time, and the speed, I guess, of the greatest wind speed in kilometers per hour. And so, what we want to be able to do is plot this on the map. And believe it or not, ArcGIS is really pretty automated and simple for this task. Just going to right click on it, and we're going to hit display XY data. And this is a text file, but it would work on other kinds of tables that you might import. And it brings up this little dialog box, and it's going to ask us what field do we want for the X coordinate. Well, we want longitude. What field do we want for the Y? And that would be latitude. And then it's got a coordinate system here, but I'm going to click edit here. All right. And it's going to let me import. So I'm going to go over here, import a coordinate system, and I want to match the one that's being used by the city shapefile here. And there we go. And we can hit OK, and then that should show up here as the a geographic coordinate system, WGS 1984. And show details. Okay, so it's got all that. And now we're ready to go. I'm going to hit OK. And you're going to get a warning message here that there's not an object ID field, right? Which is something that you generally want in ArcGIS. And so it's telling me that it doesn't have it. And if I want it, I'm going to have to export the layer. So, OK, no problem. So we'll hit OK here. And there you go. And you can see it added that layer with the fixes, and it gave it a default symbology here, kind of these big dots, right? And of course, I can change that property, and I think So like I can change the name of it to iPhone Etang, and I can change the symbology, and I'm going to search and see if there's a hurricane or maybe typhoon symbol. Hurricane or typhoon. It's got several of them. I like this one here. It's kind of smaller. And I'm going to change it, make it even smaller because 18 is big. I'm going to go down to 4. We'll see how that works. Why that? And there you go, right? And so now, we have located the fixes for the typhoon. And then what we would do is we would export this, go to data, export data, and create a shapefile, and then it would prepare FID numbers for that. Okay, moving on here. I'm going to open up the next exercise. And it's basically, it looks like it's starting with the same map here. And what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in on this path of this typhoon. So I'm going to use the layout tool. So now you'll notice here I've got 2 toolbars open. One is for the map view, the data view, and the other one is for the layout view. And they look very similar, right? And I think I've explained this in the navigating videos, but just as a refresher, right? We're interested in zooming in on the layer on the sheet. So I'm going to do this. And so it doesn't change our map view. It just changes what we're looking at on the page. Okay. And so what I want to do here is I want to add a path that, corresponds to the location of the typhoon. So I'm going to use my drawing menu up here, and we're going to select a curve. Okay, so we're going to have a curve tool, and we're going to start over here at the east. And you can see here, it's making a smooth curve. It's really nice. I'm just eyeballing it here, you all. I'm not snapping or anything, and that's perfectly okay when you're just drawing things to kind of eyeball it, right? And then when you're finished, you double click it, right? And it's still selected here. And so like what I'm going to do here, I think is change the color. So I hit the properties here, and I'm going to select, I'm trying to match I think it's this color here. There, so now it might be one shade off, but it's close enough for what we're doing here. Click away from that, right? And another thing you can do is identify one of these points on the map here. And so I'm going to pick the far western one here. And it looks like I got the topmost layer, and I want Etang here. So there we go. All right. And so you can see that now it's identified the fix for June 5th. And let's say I want a call out for that. So I can go over here to text, and most of these fields in the draw menu will allow you to hit the little arrow and get some drop down. So we can call that out. And then click that symbol again. And that didn't work. It's very, you have to be very precise on the location select it again. All right, now call out. It does not really want to cooperate with me, does it? It's letting me put in some text, right? Oh, there we go. All right, it is a call out. Okay. And I'm going to put in June 5th. And at 12 a.m., the wind speed was 170. There we go. And you can move that around. It's attached to that point. And it's a little tricky, as you can see, but I think you get the idea. So that's, a little introduction there on how to manipulate XY data, longitude and latitude, which is actually something that we do pretty commonly. So I want to move on now to the next part of the lesson. And for this one, I'm going to go to chapter 19, and I'm going to open up exercise 19A. And what we're going to do here, we're going to be mainly working in layout view, but it opens up in data view. And this is, I know we have a lot of Indians working on the project, so I'm sure you're familiar with this map, right? So it shows the subcontinent of India, South Asia. And this is, what we want to do here is we want to create a map, a series of maps that sort of tells a story about the location of tigers and talk about tiger conservation. So it brings up, we have several data frames here. We have existing reserves, where the existing tiger reserves are, and then a data frame. Activate. Shows proposed reserves, and then we also have an overview that is like the whole world is just like a location map. Okay, and so we're going to use all three of these in trying to make a map layout for export. And when you open it up, you can see that the layout is set up for a 8.5 by 11 size sheet. And if you want to change the size of the sheets, what you're going to do is look at the print and page size under the file menu. And you can see here that it will let us specify the size of the paper and the map size. Okay, so this is like if you're going to print it out, this is the setup there, and then this lets you specify the map page size that we're going to export. And so, like if I click landscape here, you can see how it rotates the view, and that's what we want here. We want a landscape view, and you can just click up here, as a note, use user printer page settings. So just use whatever we got up here. But here I'm going to rotate it, and that's going to do that. And then what you can see here is that I've got three windows: the existing reserve, the proposed reserve, and the overview. Okay, so I'm going to work with these. I have under my view here, you can see, and this is like very similar to other graphics programs. You can have rulers, which are already turned on, guides, and which are not, and grid. If I click on the guides, you will see that they're kind of hard to see, at least for my old eyes. But there's a series of cyan lines that give you guides of how we're going to sort of lay out the page with margins and gutters and kind of nicely organize things. And we had, to save time, we had some guides already specified, but we don't have a top guide here. So if you just want to create one, like we want to create one at 8, you just click on that, right? And it makes one. So you can move these around, and then like if we go back to view, the guides are turned on, and then like, if I want to, snap to them, I right click in the data frame there, and then I turn on snap to guides. Okay, and this is useful, right? So that you can move things around. It will snap to the guides. Okay. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these windows around inside my frame here. So this proposed ones, I'm going to have it snap up here to this upper right hand corner, and you can see I can move any of the guides. But if I move one of the side ones, it will resize the entire image. Whereas if I use now I've got this. There we go. If I use a corner one, it resizes it on both dimensions. Okay, here we go. All right, so we got that. And then I'm going to do the same thing here for the proposed guides. And then for this one, I'm going to drag it over here so it lines up with the one above. Yeah, and then it fits to that one. You can kind of stretch it out and make it fit. So you can see I'm just sizing my windows here. I've got a corner down here I'm going to bring in a photo for that, and then I also have a place here for a title bar. Now, one of the things that you can see is that like these maps are at different scales, and so like I can go up here and like you can hit bookmarks. We don't have any bookmarks made right now, but we can specify a scale. And so in this case, I'm going to do 1 to 28 million. And I think maybe I forgot a 0 here. I was going to say that looks awfully close. One more 0. There we go. Okay. And you can take your pan tool. In this case, now I'm using the data pan tool. And I'm just kind of centering it. I want India to be kind of in center frame there. Okay. Now I could do the same thing over here. So I've got to switch tools, activate this one, and then I'm going to put in the same scale. 0, 0, 0. There we go. And then pan in that one until you get it kind of, and you can use your arrow keys on your keyboard to kind of nudge. Well, now I'm nudging the whole frame. Sorry, my bad. Almost there. That looks pretty close. So now we got a side-by-side comparison, right, between the existing preserves and the proposed reserves. And we got our basic page layout all set up. So now what I want to do is I want to add a title, okay? And so I'm going to go back to my layout tools. I'm going to zoom the whole page, make sure I'm zoomed out here. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click the insert menu. And this is where you insert a lot of different graphic elements. And I'm going to select title. And you can see it just brings in a title here. It gives us the name of the map. So if you double click that, I'm going to change that to read Tiger Conservation. And I'm going to also want to change the size of that. So let me hit OK. I'm just going to try something here if it will let me enter a number directly in the toolbar. Yep, there we go. Okay. And so now we got a tiger conservation title, but you can see it's in the wrong orientation, you know. But before I rotate it, I'm going to insert another title, sort of a subtitle, and we're going to call that one an assessment of critical habitat in India. Okay, except I can't type. Oh. All right. There we go. And this one, we're going to make it 22. We're also going to click italicize here. All right. And then we're going to place it. Oops. Got to be careful here. What window you got selected? I'm going to place it over the top here of Tiger. And pull it down here. I just want to kind of place it where it's in a good relationship with the main title. Yeah, all right. And select both titles. I'm going to hit group. There you go. Now when I move them around, you can move them together. Then I'm going to right click on it, get the context menu, and we're going to do a rotate to the left. And it's set up for 45. I'm sorry, for 90-degree rotation, but you know we can actually rotate it at any amount by entering the value that we want. Okay, and then what we're going to do here is I've got it. I'm going to drag it around. You can see it will resize itself based on the snaps that you use here. And so, you know, if I want it like to span from the top of this frame to the bottom, I can just stretch it. Okay. Then I'm going to go up here and to the rectangle tool. I'm going to draw a rectangle, and I'm going to and then I'm just going to draw a rectangle right on top of that, like so. And you see it's in front, so it is you can't see the title, but the title's still there. And I can hit the properties here, and you can see I can edit the colors, right? So if I want to change the fill color, and if I hit more colors, right, like I can specify the RGB. So like, let's say 176 and 204. And so if you're trying to match a color, you can match a color. Okay. So that gives us a nice kind of tone that goes with the color of our maps. Then I'm going to hit graphic operations. I'm sorry, order here, and I'm going to send it to the back. And now you can see that it is, you know, it's got like a nice background behind my title. And then just going to click outside there. Okay. And then I'm going to right click either element. Okay. And I'm going to hit align. Get it to do it. I'm just going to try selecting them with a window. Some of these tools they're just a little bit squirrely. Okay. And then now it'll let me do it. So I'm going to hit align vertical center. It was already pretty much aligned. Okay. So no problem. But that's you know, kind of takes you through how to create a title. And then I think what we need to do is every map needs a north arrow, a scale bar, and maybe a legend, right? So I'm going to insert. First thing I'm going to start with is the north arrow, and you just go insert north arrow. And there's a lot of different templates available to you. So this one is I'm just going to select this one, Esri North 3, pop that in there. Where'd it go? There it goes. And we'll put, we can put that on our large map, and you can scale that down if it's a little big, that sort of thing. And then let's select the proposed map here, and then I insert a. All right, so hold on. It's not. I don't think I have that selected. There we go. Insert scale bar. And then, again, you have a lot of different options. I'm going to select the alternating scale B2 or 2 here and in there. And so you can see it drops in a scale, and it'll put that at the scale of whatever window you have selected, right? And we can, size that. You can see it will automatically adjust. You can move it around. And you can, if you double click on it, it will let you adjust a gajillion things, right? But right now it's in miles, and so we want to change that to kilometers. There you go. So it really gives you a lot of flexibility of what you can show here. And so if we have that, we can right click it, and I'm going to do a copy. I'm going to take it over here. Sorry, not copy, distribute. Try to distribute it. It's not liking it, right? All right, how about just good old Control V. There is a way to distribute it. But I obviously wasn't holding my mouth right or something there. But anyway, that's you can see that's how you get yourself a scale bar. You can also insert a legend, right? And so it's going to make sure that I've got that existing reserves, and then it brings up a little toolbar. And so it's asking me, what layers do I want, right? And so I'm just going to say, that I want to include all the layers, which is the default. And I'm just going to accept. There's always a ton of things. We call it legend, but you can name it something else. You can change its border. You can change its background. So like if I want a line on the border, like a 1-point line, and then like the background, maybe I want that to be white. I'm not going to bother with a drop shadow. Set next, finish, right? And so then it creates a little legend for you. This also can be scaled up and down, right? So, if it's too big for your map, and so on and so forth, okay? We can make one for over here as well. All right, so, kind of the finishing touches here, and I'm going to open up the next exercise here just to make sure that I've got everything I should on here. There we go. Okay. And so now what I'm going to do is, like, if you want to insert some text, and we'll insert that over here, and you can start typing. And so like if we want projection, graphic, or I'm just kind of making stuff up here. But adding text it's a lot like adding a title. And these are these things that you draw, they are located in the layout view. They're not in the data view. And so sometimes you may want to you may want to zoom all the way out here. You may want to use a different method, so you might want to create an annotation layer, and those are not just dependent on the layout. They will show up no matter what scale you're using and what view you're using. All right, the last thing here that I'm going to do is I'm going to add an image. And so I'm going to insert a picture. And I've got to navigate again, right, to bear with me. I got to get back to GTK ArcGIS. There's a picture of a tiger. And put that in. And you can see it. It also will snap to the grids. And it will scale, and it's really nice. It keeps it scaling proportionally. All right, so last thing here, just to finish it up, if you want a neat line, which is sort of a border on the map, you can do that as well. And so if we go to the insert menu and we hit neat line, and then it will let you select, like, let's say we want a 2-point and we want to place it around all elements. And then let's say we don't want a background, and let's see what that gives. There you go. And so that's a nice way to kind of just finish off the map. Anyway, there was a lot of little operations in there, but I mean, it really just showed you to show you how to arrange items and use the basic graphic design drawing tools when you export your maps, and to make sure that you always have the things that maps have: legends and north arrows and scales and titles and that sort of thing. And when we export our prototypes and our final maps, this is the sort of thing we want to do. Also, some of these things can be automated using scripting and or modeling. All right, this sort of wraps up the basic training, if you will, GIS training. But I'm going to record some more videos on special topics like geocoding and network analyst and some other things. So stay tuned. Those will be coming up soon.